Hello and welcome to the module about teaching online. In this module we're going to do a little bit of basic instruction about what it takes to do some online learning and some things to consider as you embark upon teaching in an online environment. Now you may not think that you will be teaching online, but as most students in Virginia have to take one online class to graduate, there's an increasing likelihood that the classes you'll be teaching will be in an online format, and as time goes on, more and more classes seem to be moving to this sort of format. Therefore, you need to be aware of the sort of instruction that online education takes and the different role that teachers have to take. So, when you come to teach in an online environment, there's some things you have to consider. For a start, preparing an online course means that you have to do a lot more work at the beginning and before the course even starts. It's a front-loaded process, and your role as teacher is different too. You are the facilitator of learning. Because you're not there face-to-face, it's hard for students to get take visual clues in your face when you're giving feedback. So you've got to give frequent written feedback to what's going on. You also have to be aware of the time management issues. Students take a lot longer to do online work than they do in a face-to-face environment, so you've got to build that into your plan too. Motivation has to be extrinsic. Often in online classes, unless something's getting graded or assessed, it doesn't get done. And you're probably guilty of doing the same thing as students yourselves. So try and find ways of keeping the students engaged and motivated. Make sure deadlines are adhered to and are serious, otherwise they won't meet those deadlines. Also understand that this is a good opportunity for students to collaborate with each other, and for you as an online instructor to collaborate with other teachers. There's loads of resources out there to help you in the Web 2.0 environment. There's plenty of stuff that means that instructors can create things together, and students can work together too. Encourage this in online classes. It's a good thing. There are other things that you've got to consider too. For example, simulations are really important now in the online world. Simulations are a medium that can demonstrate a real-world condition in a simulated environment. So, for example, there could be something interactive, it could be a game. These are really good because they help learners, because learning is experiential when you do a simulation. A really good example is if you're doing like a scientific experiment. Now, in an online class, you can't really get everyone to do the same experiment, but if you have an online simulation, the students can all be taking or trying the experiment in an online way and getting the results and reporting them in the same way. One thing we're also finding is that teachers who have instructed online often have changed how they instruct face-to-face as a result. You might find you've seen these terms flipped or blended when describing people's classrooms. The flip model is where the instructors decide to do lectures or do like information gathering stuff as a homework activity, and they produce videos that are online that students can access at home. Then when they're in class, they do things like project-based learning and inquiry-based learning that takes a lot more time, but is much better for depth critical thinking and really gets the students active and engaged. Other teachers tend to do blended learning, where they have a mixture of these online content and face-to-face instruction. So they'll have maybe online lectures or online simulations to do as homework, and then when they come back to class, there's a blend of experiential learning and teacher-led learning that goes on. Once you get thinking about your instruction in this way, you can really improve how you teach and particularly improve the engagement of the students. It's something to consider as you go on in your development. And finally, we're going to take a little look at the assignment you have to do. You'll see I've just copied the instructions from Blackboard, but you need to get in and take a look at the assignment as well because it's got the downloads you need. First of all, you need to get hold of your TPAC template because you're going to be creating a TPAC plan today. You're going to have to access the Virginia Standards of Learning and find a subject area that is pertinent to your area of study. Once there, choose a simulation activity from the list on the reading page or another one that you found on the internet that connects to the standard that you've chosen. What you're going to do with this activity is think about how you're going to use it with an online class. What would you talk about? Why is the activity useful? Would you do it before the learning, after the learning? What's going to happen as a result of doing a simulation? Do the students do it on their own? Do they do it with the class? Is it something they can do at home? You've really got to think about how it's going to be used. Put all those details and as much detail as possible in the TPAC template. At this stage in your development, you can't leave anything out. The more you write, the better, because it really shows us that you're thinking about how this instruction is going to work out. Check the rubric to make sure you've fulfilled all of the requirements and then submit this to your instructor. using Blackboard. Good luck with the assignment, and the very best of luck to you.